Welcome to the Tribe Talk Show, live from Atlanta. On this show, you get real conversations, inspiring stories, entertainment, information that empowers, real talk. A safe space to learn and grow. Real sisterhood. Let's talk. Let's grow. Let's thrive together. Join the tribe.
Hi, Tribe. Welcome back to another episode. How are you doing, Madam Grace?
I'm doing wonderful.
Looking fabulous. Also.
So do you. So do you. I'm excited about the show today.
What's in store for us today?
Well, today we are discussing the tension that can grow when a woman becomes the main provider. And instead of being appreciated, sometimes met with criticism. So today we're going to be unpacking the cost of staying in a relationship where progress feels like threats.
Exactly.
And we are so happy to be having Lucy. Lucy is like a sister to us, and she's just a gem.
Yeah, and Lucy is actually a conflict resolution coach, and she actually does mediation in her in a day-to-day job. So I think she's the perfect person to unpack it. But we thought about this topic because we actually got a letter, and we got a letter. We love it when you guys write to us. Please continue to write to us. We love it. So I'm just going to read the letter, and we can start unpacking it. So she wrote, "Dear Tribe, I'm a very successful professional. I have worked extremely hard for my family. I've been married for 20 years and have been the breadwinner almost the entire time. My husband's career never really took off, partly because of pride, and if I'm being honest, laziness. Ish.
Yeah.
Over the years, he has grown increasingly resentful of me. He belittles me in public and private, abuses my money, and accuses me of infidelity, all while he was the one that was cheating and even fathered a child outside of our marriage. I stayed for the sake of the children. I kept the peace. I turned a blind eye. But now I am tired and I want out. He's threatening to take half of everything, including properties in my name, and that he never contributed to financially. What should I do?"
This is layered. And it's so unfortunate because I have a friend, close person to me, going through the similar situation. This young lady found out that her husband that she has really served for almost 20 years in the marriage fathered a child, 5-year-old child.
That is
Recently.
crazy. So she didn't know all
She
this
did
time.
not know. She just found out. And this similar situation, hardworking lady, carrying the family, and the part that really broke my heart for her is that she's one of those people that will really carry their husband on their head, literally. Like she respects him so much. She references him. When we're out hanging out, she's always the first to like, oh, I need to get home to my husband. And this is how she was paid.
I don't know. We see it a lot with successful women.
Yep.
It's almost like when you are more successful than your husband, it becomes a curse. And what she said in that letter, that some men, instead of embracing you, saying that at least, even though I am failing to provide, at least my wife is doing that. They become so resentful.
It's pride. It's betrayal. Because when you look at it, we are from the culture where men are seen as the main provider, primary provider. Not, I mean, most African cultures, let's say. So when they get to this part of the world where marriage is more of like a partnership, where women bring stuff to the table, so it's always hard for them to adjust.
Yeah, and I remember when we had Dr. Mukunga to the show, he did say that a lot of the time, especially here in America, men really struggle. You see that women are the high achievers. Women are the ones that it's very easy for women to be accepted in corporate world. So some men really struggle. But I don't know. I don't know how men are wired. But I just think, most of the time when your husband is the provider, you try by all means to support them.
Yep.
But when it becomes the other way, it's almost like the men hate you for being more successful.
Yeah, they resent you because it becomes more of a, marriage is supposed to be a partnership. You understand? But like I said, because of the way we are wired, because of the way men are wired from our culture, and then all of a sudden you are taking over that role. So it becomes a resentment because of their pride.
So do you think as women, do you think the women that are high achievers, do you think maybe we are the ones that cause this? Like, do you think maybe we start looking down on our husband? Because I've seen people saying, she wants to be boss outside and she wants to be boss in the home.
It's usual. I beg to differ. I don't think so. I think first of all, you need to know who you're married to. You need to know, the relationship and the dynamics. So if you feel like if you see that potential that, if this will become a problem, you want to discuss it right from the beginning.
Yeah.
But again, I don't usually think it's the woman, because a lot of women are very successful and they still reference their husband, they still support their husband. A lot of people you don't even know, depending.
Yeah,
So
I've seen that. I knew someone that I thought the husband was the rich one. Until I started talking to them, that's when I realized, no, she's the main breadwinner. But if you meet them in social settings, you won't even know.
And it's because of the dynamics of the home.
Yeah.
Tell that this is a couple that work together. But some men, when this happens, they see it as an opportunity to step out in order to boost their ego. Because there will be somebody out there looking in, not knowing the dynamics, not knowing that the woman is the provider. Then they will step out.
There was someone who looks at them in a different way.
In the case of my friend that I was telling you, the lady, the only reason why this story was out was because the baby mama kicked them out of the relationship because it wasn't forthcoming with money. And only
Not
for
his
her
money.
to realize that that wasn't his money in the first place. And what was he doing out there? He was just trying to feed his ego. He was still trying to find that control. Like, since my wife is the provider, I no longer feel like I'm in control. So let me step outside. Let me go see somebody to feed that ego.
Someone that's going to look at him like a boss. I don't know. Yeah, I think you have a point there. Most of them, this infidelity, it's also built in with resentment.
Yeah.
They are resenting you and they want to hurt you. Yeah. Because I think you can go out and have an affair. Why are you having a child?
Well, I wouldn't think they plan it. I sometimes feel like it just happened along the line. Yeah, but for this lady, my heart breaks for her. And the part of another part is the threat to take half. You understand what she has worked so hard for.
And you didn't work for it. But then they will turn around and say women do it.
Yeah. So I think she needs to seek legal counsel to know how to go about this. Because again, if it's a marriage, if it was acquired during marriage, sometimes they have legal right to some of those. But I think she needs to seek a legal counsel,
especially now that he has been having extramarital affairs.
Yeah. So I think she should seek a legal counsel and see what help she can get out there.
And I'm really excited because we have Lucy coming up. This is what she does for work. So she's gonna help us. She's gonna help our sister here. And also a lot of women are in these situations. So we look forward to having Lucy. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. And like promised, we have Lucy. And Lucy, thank you so much for joining us. We really love having you here. It's like having our big sister.
It is. You are our big sisters. I would draw a lot of inspiration from you. I tell you that we admire what you do. Thank you. The way you carry the community, we're really grateful for you.
Yeah. Thank you. And thank you for having me. And thank you for having the work that you're doing. I guess I was among the first people that in this. And I have watched you grow. And the work you're doing in the community, the name tribe, the tribe name, you pull in the whole tribe together. And it just resonates very well with me, because one of the things I think we have lost over time is that feeling of being a tribe where we take care of each other. You've been asking people to come to speak about tips and things they can do in the diaspora that can make them become better and make the community better. That's what the tribe does.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
And for those that have not seen you before, do you mind just telling the tribe what you do, the services that you offer?
So yeah, if you haven't seen me before, I am a conflict resolution professional. I help people resolve conflict, like the name says. But more importantly, I like to work with families and the communities where culture has, especially the diaspora community, where culture is confusing them. People have come from Africa, they are in the US, they are raising kids, or they themselves are growing and expanding in this environment that's different. And there's a lot of conflict in homes, domestic violence. We've seen suicides. And that's the area I found myself gravitating more, actually pulled by circumstances. And that's the work I am doing much more now. I do have other things that I do, but I think that's what we want to talk about today.
And that's why we're excited to have you, because we've been discussing about relationship and marriage. And I want to ask you, my first question to you would be, especially for people here in the diaspora, what psychologically happens when a role is switched and a woman becomes the primary provider?
That's a very loaded question, and I'm glad you asked, because many times we think the role has been switched. Traditionally, African women actually have carried the load in families. We've done a lot more. We African women, even African American women, the nurturers. If you think about your grandmother today, think about the load she carried. It's not about income. You see, the challenge we have is because when we come here, the load we are talking about is just the money. It's not about money. It's about the load the family carries. And African women have always carried. So the definition needs to be addressed. If I was to speak to a woman, I would say, or a family, I would say, let's talk about what we are talking about, this role changing. You're carrying the load financially. He's carrying the load which way? Let's talk about that, because that's a conversation we want to have. Nothing has changed. It's just that we're in a different environment and we need to adapt.
Yeah. But I think I totally agree. When I think about what our mothers did, especially in Africa, they definitely carried more, even though they were not going outside. What they were doing in the home was more. But being here in the Western world, where money is how people value things, the money you bring is what you are judged upon. And when the roles change to the point where instead of the man going to hunt, it's the woman going to hunt. How do you think that affects a household, the dynamics of a household?
And most of the time, not only is the woman the one hunting, she's still also performing the domestic duties at home.
Yeah, there's a challenge. There are two things that we want to talk about. We want to talk about how we're socializing this, bringing up these men. Then now we're in the diaspora, so we're bringing them as per the Western world. But then we are clashing. The roles are clashing. Because if we would still want to hold on to African culture where the man is elevated, but we also want to adopt the Western culture where it's partnership.
Yep.
Those are conversations that we need to sit at the table and have a conversation before this marriage occurs. Now, if it's already in trouble, that's where conflict resolution steps in. And one of the conversations I have with my husband is, what does it look to you, especially when I'm earning more? We have an occasion where I earned more. We had an occasion where he earned more. How does it look to you? Do you feel small? Do you feel less of a man? And those are conversations that we've had. I mean, it's deep. It's very deep. We can't do it in the minutes that we have here. But those are conversations that people need to sit down and talk about. Because it is definitely psychologically, the man is the provider, has been socialized to be the provider, the leader, and that's what is in his mental. He has to deal with that. He has to work that out. How can I, as a woman, help him work that out? Because I need to understand that's what he's struggling with. So my response to his negativity, if it comes, and it will come, because he will be struggling with that, my response should be in a place of understanding, of partnership, of feeling that I want to be a partner to this man, African man, that has been, or black man, and it's usually black man. African American men have the same problem. Black man that has been socialized in this way, that understands life this way. But I also understand life the other way, and I'm frustrated. We were driving today, and we were talking about this frustration, but that's another story for another day. I know you want to ask me something.
No, I could listen to you all day. But why is it that instead of, because I mean, maybe I'm talking from a woman's perspective, I would think if I'm the one that is bringing in more, or if I'm now the sole breadwinner, I expect my husband to support me. But what we tend to see is this resentment, this why do men, instead of embracing, because me, if my husband is going to earn more and is the breadwinner, I'm going to support them. I'm going to try to make sure that he has everything that he needs. I'm not going to frustrate them. I'm not going to resent them. I'm going to
Build them
be
up.
appreciative. Why is it that men become so resentful? And like in the lady that wrote to us, she was saying that she's being belittled, being spoken down on. What will be going on in the men's? Help us understand, Lucy. Why do they become this way?
Like I said, men are meant to lead. When you start leading, and his definition of manhood, how he has been defined to be, his definition is defined by the money he brings. Now, think about it. Now he's not bringing the money, so who is he now? If that is what he thinks makes a man, he is a nobody. And you are bringing the money. Are you trying to be the man? Think about it. That's a psyche around that. He struggles with that because that's how he has been socialized. If you look at the ads, you walk into the social gatherings that the men have, our men have, that's what is being said. Even our own women. Even you, in your energy, is like, you should be taking care of me financially. Then that's why he starts feeling like, oh, you're now taking my role. Who wants their role to be taken? That's the problem. That's the challenge.
Yeah.
So what do we do as women? What can we do? I'm not saying the whole problem is on us, but I think we need to partner with this man that surely we loved, surely we love, surely we are in this relationship with, to resolve this issue with understanding, with empathy. Because unless we give this man grace from that perspective, and he may not even know, by the way, many times they don't even understand, they don't even realize that's what they're struggling. He has to deal with that. I'm a strong advocate of therapy. Our Black men don't want that, but it's a journey.
Yeah.
A long journey.
Yeah.
Nebraska and I met, my husband and I met when after failed marriages, 2 marriages, we're in our second marriage. So we know, we were very intentional. We understood what some of these things we struggled with in our previous relationships. And it's always a journey. I can tell you, it's not stopping today. Even when you start working on it, he will drop the ball, you will drop the ball. But the relationship, if you want it to work, you can work it.
Yeah. So we're going to be right back. We're just going to take a short break. Stay with us.
Welcome back, tribe. We still have our beautiful big sister Lucy here, helping us navigate this journey.
She needs to live in my house. I need to be with it all the time.
I know, we need our wisdom.
Mhm.
Now, in these situations, we have children growing. What effect does this have on them? Because they often see one parent shrink, just to keep peace within the marriage. What effects do you think this have on our children?
Children watch what is happening. They may not speak, but they watch. They learn how love looks like. They learn how to treat a woman or to treat a man. From all that behavior, they are observing. When they see, especially if they see a woman in an abusive relationship, or even a man in an abusive relationship, they think it is okay. And they carry that to the next relationship.
Yeah.
To their own relationship.
And it becomes a cycle.
It becomes a cycle. But they also learn if the woman leaves for safety, or the man, again, I say the partner. Let me just put the partner. They also, or heals, because there's healing. There can be healing in the relationship. They understand healing, and healing is powerful. Because when you teach, we teach our children by action, it's more effective than when we verbalize. We can say all we want, but this is what we do. And it has an effect on the children here psychologically.
And I like that you brought up the children, because that is the biggest worry, that when I speak to women that are in this situation, they just like, especially when they have sons, they become concerned. Are my sons going to be providers in their relationship? Are they going to be motivated? Or are they now growing up with this mentality that the woman is supposed to take care because they see their mothers taking care? Do you think children will grow up to emulate whatever they see in their household?
And that has been seen to happen, but you can be intentional. A woman can be intentional. Mothers can be intentional. That creating role models, going to organizations. There are organizations that do peer mentoring. And yes, it is true, when a man, they can even be resentful of the mother. The opposite can also happen. I have 2 sons. Each one of them will come out differently. Why will they come out differently? Because one of them respects and looks at me as a mother figure and strong. The other one thinks, you're going to be battling with men now. So that is different. So we just have to be sensitive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's very true.
Yeah. So in this woman, in this letter, you can tell that the damage is almost feel like the damage is done. But how does she heal? How does she start the recovery process of being able to rebuild from this kind of situation?
I will speak from my experience. I don't know about other people, but one of my things that I did was, first of all, it cannot be emotional. It has to be informational. So she has to sit back and weigh her risks, her protections. She has to sit and have a plan. And she has to build a community around her. When you build a community around you, and friends, and not just friends, truth tellers. Because we have friends who will be woey, it's okay, you'll be fine. But we want friends. I had a friend who told me things I didn't want to hear. But they were very good. In the end, they served me right. At the moment, they were painful, but she was my friend. But she also needs to have a legal plan. Because what protects her? I didn't have a proper legal plan. I had and I didn't. I had a halfway baked one. But she needs to have that from my lesson. A good legal plan that has a conversation around what can she have if she's been working, what do they have in the family, what ought to have if she's going to have to, a legal plan. But also, she needs to have a spiritual and emotional plan. Gather what she needs to understand that leaving a marriage or moving away for her security is choosing safety, is not failing. See, the challenge we have is we think we don't want to be judged. So we think we have failed.
Especially in the African culture.
Especially in the African culture.
Being single is frowned upon.
Yes. And so she needs to emotionally go through that and know that she is choosing safety. She's choosing life. Because staying in an abusive marriage, like the story says, or staying in a marriage that doesn't make anybody happy, is unfair to herself and to the rest of the people.
And the children.
The relationship, in the relationship. Even the man, actually.
Yeah.
It's unfair.
And I think that's a point that we need to really emphasize. A lot of women say they stay for the children. But I know, speaking from experience, these children notice everything.
And it's not this. I think it's the guilt the society gives us, this guilt. And I think we're loyal. Remember, we are naturals as women. We're very loyal. We want things to work. We pull things together. That's how we are by nature. And so leaving is a very traumatic thing for us. So that's why. So I can tell her to not to be emotional, but to be information. Information gives you strength and power. Silence takes it away.
Oh man, we will, unfortunately, this might be all the time we have for now.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for joining us. We cannot wait to have you back. And there you have it, right? Your success is not the betrayal of your marriage.
Exactly.
You deserve respect, you deserve partnership, and most importantly, you deserve security.
Happiness. And happiness.
So if this resonates with you, leave a comment, let us know how you feel, and continue to support us. Continue to follow us on all our social media platforms. Until next time, we'll see you then.